Most relationship advice on YouTube is not going to fix your relationship. In fact, it's going to do the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. And this is by design. Most relationship videos are going to tell you what you want to hear, but not what you need to hear. And therein lies the problem. So I'm going to dig into why this is and what can be done about it. And I get it. You've invested years into your relationship. You see things are not headed in the right direction. Arguments are increasing. Your partner's hot and cold. Hell, maybe there's even been infidelity. So you jump online and search for relationship advice and find hundreds and thousands of videos that could give you the information that you need. Your intent is good, but there's a lot of problems that can stack up here. Firstly, YouTube videos often offer a quick fix. And this is a tempting proposition, especially when you're in a dire place like separation or divorce. You want to put a stop to it before it's too late. So often these videos give solutions that give some temporary relief, like a script to say, or a tactic like no contact, or giving your partner an ultimatum. And the worst thing is, this can work in the short term. You will capture your partner's attention by doing something radically different to what they've been experiencing for the past few years. The problem lies in that these short-term wins come at the cost of long-term benefits. Think about it this way: if things are rocky in your relationship, then there likely needs to be some big changes to need to happen. So while flowers and fancy words and a big gesture may get your partner's attention, when it comes to a moment of truth, deep down you'll have zero changes to back it up. Because these quick fixes are kind of like putting a band-aid on a deep wound. It's simply not going to do the job. And because your partner's probably seen this happen many, many times before, they'll see right through it. There are no perfect words that you can say to someone, because the truth is that the words you say also need to be backed up by the actions. And actions are where your partner's going to focus their attention. That's what they're looking for, and that's what they'll see for themselves. Quick fix tactics and scripts are shallow, surface level moves to convince someone to believe that you've changed. If you grow in the right ways to such a level, they will be able to see that you've changed. You don't need quick fixes and tactics in order to show them that. But in pulling these quick fixes, what you'll actually show your partner is the fact that you have no plan. Because even if one or two bits of advice are helpful, then you're still just picking up bits and pieces of advice from a bunch of different places, multiple different sources. This means that you will have a patchwork of ideas, tips, and tricks, but none of them are a long-term plan for the relationship. These YouTube videos don't give you an A to Z plan to fix the problems in a relationship. It's kind of like throwing a bunch of spaghetti at a wall and hoping that some of it is going to stick. So if your partner who is waiting to see some leadership, a really strong path ahead to take the relationship in the right direction, what they actually end up with is you scrabbling around trying to put a band-aid on a burst water pipe. When you get relationship advice from lots of different places, you end up causing more damage because you're not sticking to one path forward. You're essentially swerving the car along the road, and that has the consequence of causing you to take even longer to get to your destination, if you even get there at all. So when your partner sees this lack of plan, this pushes them further away because they're already feeling hopeless, and this just confirms their fears. And I've seen this firsthand when I get new members come to me so that they can fix the damage that this scattershot approach has caused. But even if there was some sort of vague plan forward, in piecing it together for yourself, you're likely to be left with many, many blind spots. Because you're only approaching the problem with the same thinking that likely caused a lot of the problems in the relationship in the first place. So you'll be searching for fix relationship, save marriage, stop divorce. You're not actually looking for the root of the problem. You're not looking at the why the separation is happening. And this is why your partner feels hopeless right now. It's because you don't know what you don't know. And because of this, you deepen any blind spots that you do have. Because when it comes to repairing a relationship, it's kind of like the difference between a chef and a cook. If you're a cook, you need recipe cards for everything that you make. You can learn 1,000 recipes, but you're still not thinking like a chef. And this is kind of what YouTube videos are for relationship advice. You need a video for every single scenario, but you won't learn to be a chef by watching YouTube videos, or if you do, it's going to take you a very, very long time compared to just going to culinary school. So for your partner, when there's a moment that you don't have a script for and you don't have a tactic for, then you'll completely fumble the ball. You don't know what video you've missed that you should have watched, and you lose yet another opportunity to build trust and strength in the relationship. Anyone can be a cook. But not just anyone can be a chef, because being a chef takes a lot of time, effort, and learning. And your partner likely knows this too, because even if you and your partner reconnected, you wouldn't be able to sustain it, because you'll always be needing a recipe card for any situation that comes along. And this thinking is one of the key skills that I work on with my members, is being able to identify your blind spots. And if you want deeper dives into this, then join us on my free relationships bootcamp, which I'll link to in the description down below. Because ultimately, so much of this advice that YouTube videos are telling you is just what you want to hear, not necessarily what you need to hear. Or they just talk about toxic relationship traits and how to identify them. These videos can convince you that your partner is to blame and that they're completely beyond help. So much relationship advice out there is simply comfort advice. It's the type of advice that people at a bar would tell you. You know, she's not worth it, she doesn't deserve you, that a cheater will always be a cheater, or that your partner's a narcissist, or that you simply need to make them jealous to see how valuable you are. If it's meant to be, then it should be easy. If they really loved you, then they wouldn't even think about leaving you. You know, a financial advisor could look at $2 in your checking account and promise you that you'll be rich one day. It may make you feel good, but it doesn't mean that it's good financial advice. And the reason for all of this is because as humans, we have a built-in confirmation bias. We have a bias that pushes us to see things that confirm our existing beliefs. So we hear this advice and we start to look for signs of narcissism or sociopathy, or that the relationship is doomed because Sagittarius and Gemini are a terrible mix. We start to look for this comfort of certainty, and this pushes us to become a self-fulfilling prophecy because it causes us to disconnect from the relationship even more. And this is a massive shame, because the fact is that even when relationships can feel beyond help, they're usually very, very savable. The tough truth is that the hard work needed to create a thriving relationship involves some discomfort, which unfortunately is not what people usually want to hear. The work that's required for a healthy relationship is actually pretty damn difficult, but it's the stuff that gets results. But if you do put in that work, you get to enjoy those results for the rest of your life. So no, this video will not save your relationship. No YouTube video will. But that's a good thing, because you don't need to rely on luck, hope, or manipulation or scripts. Repairing, growing, crafting a thriving relationship is all about skills. And if you want to know more about what skills actually matter, then I will leave you with this video right here. I'll see you over there.